United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll do the swearing in of board members, Caitlin Downey and Peter Hubbard.
Peter, you want to start? Oh, okay, great. If you both want to come up and stand. So. And raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Caitlin Downey,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of library trustee
of the library trustee
of the Library Board of Trustees
of the library board of
Can you
trustees
take your picture when
according
they're
to the
done?
best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Excuse me, could we get your picture, please?
Yeah, let's go.
Well, we have to get the screen, can we turn the
Yeah.
screen off? Is there a way to
Or
do that?
do it over in front of the flag?
Yes,
Or
yes.
stand somewhere else. Oh, Sean, you doing the picture?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, just stand like you're doing it, but.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Raise your right hand.
Just stand here for 3 minutes.
This is for Mark. So
Yeah.
This is a test. How long can you stand here?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Lieutenant. So, Peter, can we hear the slate of candidates for the officer positions for the board?
The nominating committee is recommending President Brian Best, Vice President.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Carol has this one too.
I can't get sworn in until I'm a person,
She's
should not board
nominated.
member.
Until when?
She's
So I'm
nominated.
actually an officer, because I'm not a board member.
We
I'm
can
nothing
vote
right
on
No,
now.
I know.
We can vote on
I'm
it.
nothing
You have to
right
vote
now,
on her.
until you make me treasurer.
Okay.
President Brian Best, Vice President Herb Hennings, Secretary Judy Kahn, and Treasurer Caraval Kovic.
And any other nominations?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. There's no other nomination. We're gonna vote on the slate.
Did you make that motion? Was that a motion?
Oh, we should make a motion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I make a motion that we
So,
vote on the slate of officers as presented by nominating committee.
yes, okay, so hold on. Okay, I got both of that, okay. Now, vote.
Carol seconded it.
I got it.
Now, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
And so it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5.
Barbara's coming in.
Judy, were you abstaining? Given that you're not,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
well, you're on another slate.
Peter votes.
I can vote.
You vote? Okay.
But there's,
Because there's other ones she's voting for everything else.
But that's only 5, but I'm saying it's only 5. And there's actually 10.
There's 6
There's
of you
six
around
of
the
us.
table.
There's 6 of us.
You already were sworn in, 6,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
And Herb's not here, right?
Coming late.
I make a motion, why don't you make a motion?
No, I'm not making a motion.
What's the motion?
I make a motion that Griswold comes to the meeting.
That's fine, Brian asked me to, but as
You want to do
secretary,
it?
no, but I will defer to you.
I think we need
It's
somebody
fine.
to do it.
No, he asked me to, because I was the next in line,
Because
it's fine, I'm
Herb
happy
should be
to
doing
have
it,
to
he's
do
not
it.
here, right?
I know, that's why he called me, but it's
Do you
fine.
want to do it, Judy?
No, I don't want to, I'm just saying, it was, that's great, go ahead.
I think it's gotta be voted on before we're gonna do it.
Next week.
I second the motion.
That's fine. Okay, so,
I missed the motion, I'm sorry.
Motion that we run the meeting,
Oh,
because we don't have the president or the vice president here.
is her,
We need someone to
can I
run the
just
meeting.
ask you for a second?
I have no idea.
He's coming in late for the regular business meeting.
all right,
Oh, okay.
Kate, did you second that?
I seconded
the motion? Who made the motion?
Peter.
Okay. Okay.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, future, we get that. You want to come?
That's Jeff.
Now, the trustee should sign the, oaths and return
No,
them,
we're
right?
gonna be-
They're gonna be signed by
Brian
It
Miller.
takes several seconds.
The oaths.
Because she can't sign the whistle.
Yeah, so let's do the,
Hold on.
yep, let's do the, Carol's
Hold on, please.
swearing in.
I just want to make note of when Barbara walked in. Okay. Okay.
Carol, you want to come?
Sure.
Another photo. Another photo.
Okay, if you would please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Carol Delacour,
Hi, Carol Alcover.
do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
Do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of treasurer
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of treasurer
of the Library Board of Trustees according to the best of my ability.
of the Library Board of Trustees according to the best of my ability.
One picture, we got one. That's right. Right here, I think we're gonna wait for Brian to sign in later.
The next thing on the list is nomination for 2017 nominating committee. Is that our bylaw?
Yes.
So, do we have nominations for the nominating committee? Yes, anyone want to volunteer? I'd be happy to do it as well. We need three. Anybody else, Peter? Any other? Okay, so someone have a motion to,
I'll move.
okay, Judy, with, Peter,
Motion that Peter, Barbara, and Chris comprise the 2017 nominating committee. I said Peter, Barbara, and Chris.
yeah, I think it should be 2017 to 2018.
I agree.
Yeah. Second by Carol. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Let's move on to annual authorizations, designations, and resolutions. Tim?
So the, I was presuming we could do the authorizations, excuse me, yeah, the first four, which are, the library attorneys, Durbin and Terlazzo, the library insurance brokers, Tenite Insurance and Marshall and Sterling, the auditing firm, Teal Becker and Charamonte, and the official newspaper, the Ultima Enterprise. It seems to me that the next couple of items are separate, unless you want to do them all in one.
Well, the only issue I have is that our library auditors aren't the auditors for 2017, 2018, they're for 2016, 2017. We haven't picked auditors for 2017,
Okay.
so I would just suggest that we not include them. And don't authorize, don't do this for the library auditors, since we're gonna be discussing that in the September meeting, I believe.
Do you want to continue down the list?
Any other discussion on that for the library auditors?
I agree with that. The library attorneys, they are, what's the term, they're of our retainer with them? So,
It's the same as last year.
is it fiscal, is it a fiscal year or what?
We just got a renewal on it, so I guess it does go fiscal year, so.
And is, so that's in the same insurance broker's fiscal year?
Yes.
Any other discussion on the three authorizations, library attorneys, library insurance broker, and official newspaper? Why do we designate an official newspaper?
We have to post,
The notices.
the notices, yeah.
We have a motion to, regarding those three.
I'll make a motion that the board authorizes for this, well, let me just say, I don't know how to state this really, because, I mean, we're not in a contract to anyone. If we decide we wanna, it's not working, at least for the attorneys, certainly the auditors, we change it, but as of now, so what are we authorizing? What's the right word, what's the right words?
I would say,
If we, you know, if I have that statistics, which I don't know if I do.
Is it to approve the authorizations?
I think we had it, we did all the wording in the last year's minutes. You got it? Good. Yep, okay. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna make this motion to approve and authorize the following appointments and designations. Authorize Gerben Ferrazzo PC as legal counsel to the library. Authorize Teal Tenite Insurance and Marshall's Sterling Insurance as the library's insurance carrier, and to authorize and to designate the Altamont Enterprise as the library's official newspaper.
we have a second?
Okay, Barbara.
Barbara? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Board meeting dates? Well, we don't have to really make a motion for that, but.
Well, comment on that. There are 3 months, February, March, and November, where the second Thursday is the 8th of the month. And in recent,
February, March, and
November, in recent times, we've been wanting to push to the third Thursday on those months to get the financials done. So, it just seems to me like, we are going to publish a calendar accordingly, so if you want to take up the question of whether you want to move those meetings to the third Thursday, this,
So are they all 15th?
are they all 15th?
Was it your 8?
February, March, and November, the second Thursday is the 8th, and then August is the 9th, and May is the 10th.
So May is also one.
Well, May, the second Thursday is the 10th,
Oh,
which is probably not,
that's okay. So those days just happen to all fall on the 8th.
yeah,
So they would be the 15th of the month instead of the 8th.
yes, let me do that. That makes sense.
Great, so we'll hold our meetings on the second Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. except for February, March, and November will be the third month, Thursday of the month on the 15th of those months.
February, March, and
February, March, and November.
November.
No, I can What's Thursdays?
The reason why I asked, we've oftentimes discussed possibly moving it to the third Wednesday of June, you're not gonna be in your board meeting.
Brian cannot come on Wednesdays.
We don't meet in August, and we don't meet in, we don't
So I don't think we have to actually make a motion or anything, but,
in February.
or do we?
We did last year, well, we made a designation.
February or
Right.
August.
August.
Do you wanna?
Sure, let's say, we might as well, doesn't hurt. We have a motion to, that we meet the second Thursday of each month at 7 p.m. except for the months of November, February, and March, we will meet on the third Thursday.
You don't meet in February.
Oh,
February and August, you skip.
thank you.
Yep.
For March and
March and November,
You're not gonna change the May one?
and we're not meeting in February, and we don't meet in
August.
August,
Right.
August 2 months,
Yeah.
yeah, February
Yeah.
and August.
Should we do May also? or not?
No, usually we need to meet then because,
I'm saying for May tenth, are we gonna do that?
the issue is if we vote on the
It was the 16th this year.
third Thursday,
Yeah,
what is that?
that's the 17th. which
Yeah,
would
so we
be-
wanna meet before that.
And you can't push it to the vote.
Right.
You can't move that.
No, we have to meet before we have to vote.
Yeah.
So, let's keep it,
So just March and November would be
Yeah.
the third.
March, November will be the third Thursday, and we won't be meeting in February and August, so I guess that's the motion.
I got,
You got it. And
got it.
did you make the motion?
And special meetings as
Yes.
Right.
needed.
And so are you making it, June?
Well, if someone else wants to make it, it's fine, I'll put it into words.
I will make the motion
Excellent.
Okay.
to,
We got
you
it.
got it.
Peter,
To
second?
meet on the, to
Approve the meeting
designate the
schedule.
second Thursday of each month, excluding February and August, which will have no meetings, and March and November will be the third Thursday of the month.
Excellent. Peter
And
seconded.
special meetings is necessary.
Excellent.
Peter
Okay.
seconded that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Authorizations. Is there a different thing? Those are some issues. Certainly.
Yeah, we actually took that off. So,
It's just these things.
yeah,
So, does someone make a motion to, during the authorization of the treasurer, the treasurer we took off, the treasurer board survey. The other things are just to establish these things.
And what about petty cash fund?
So we have the petty cash fund of $300, establishing that. Fiscal officer and library director authorized to enter into an agreement with MBT Bank, Capcom, for electronic transfers of funds between library accounts. Is that for the CDs?
yeah.
That's the CDs. And the third thing is the board authorized payment of some time-sensitive bills by hand-drawn check or electronic payment between board meetings.
I authorize a petty cash fund of $300 to be established. I authorize the treasurer of the board to certify payroll for the library.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Strike it.
Okay.
So you're making a motion to, that we authorize.
So that you, yeah.
And the third
And
one?
that,
I move to authorize the fiscal officer and library director to enter into an agreement with NBT Bank for the electronic transfers of funds
and or Capcom, sorry. And or Cap.
and/or Capcom Federal Credit
Yeah.
for electronic, I don't know where I go with that. Transfers of funds between library accounts.
What is the last thing?
That's that resolution that was passed, I think, in February last year.
But- Why do we need to make a motion
I
again?
don't think we need to, because that's gonna be part of the other, the resolutions, right?
Okay.
Well, it's, a resolution isn't time to find unless, I mean, like, we made a resolution last year,
Right,
so it's.
so we don't have to
really-
make them again.
Exactly.
I agree.
Okay.
So just the first two things,
The second two,
the second and third things.
right,
Yes.
okay, got it.
The two.
Yeah.
Someone have a second to, Barbara? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?
So
Any
you
abstentions?
and Barbara,
Motion
is that
carries.
it?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
This is?
Yeah, well, not actually that document, but they're all summarized on one page. And if that's true, we have no board president from, the end of June, like 5 years. You're not a board member.
We have no president from June, the end of June until July, the next meeting.
Correct.
You guys all know that and you're comfortable with it?
That's,
That's been forever.
I wanted to bring that up,
Okay.
we wanted to bring it up, but it
I don't know,
guys are okay with it, like, there could be documents.
We have no
signed.
present, we don't have any officers,
We
is that,
have no officers.
at all?
No, at the end of the term,
The officers, I mean, it's not right, but the officers should hold their office
until the next time,
until succeeded by,
okay, as long as their term is not up. The term is up, then I guess it goes to the next person, like the vice president, if their term is up. Yeah.
So there's this list
Yeah.
that Jenna prepares that has the date that everyone has been sworn in. So let's take Caitlin, for example, your 5-year term, right, okay? So, 2022, it says she's sworn in, July 20th, 2017 to June 2022.
That's true.
It's not defined as June 1, June 30,
It's
and
June 30.
It's June 30th.
it's also not, it doesn't make Caitlin a board member from July 1 to whenever the board meets in
Right.
2022.
Board member?
Anybody, if, as long as that document, if it has some kind of force, you know, everybody's term is ending at the end of June.
Well, I don't think you're a board member
Everybody's-
until
no,
you're
each-
sworn in, right?
Well,
Each-
Barbara's saying,
No, each board member's term ends at a different time. We all.
A different year.
A different
Yeah.
year, right,
A different year, but the end of the month,
end of June.
yeah.
Yeah, so you
so-
only have an issue if all 4 of your officers
Right.
all come off the board in the same year.
Which is not gonna happen.
Okay,
okay,
okay.
fair enough. Okay.
If we do have an issue coming up, we could take care of it in that year. I mean, if there is like, we also happen to be all running that year, which, I mean, I guess could happen, but not likely. Okay.
I'm good then.
I think if basically, if the president and vice president are running at the same year, then we're okay. If they're both running at the same year, then we have to do something to cover that.
Okay. And we know that.
Yeah, the June meeting, we have to do something. Yeah. So, we're gonna be looking at the annual policies now. I guess that's something we have to vote on each year, Judy?
Yeah, well,
I think you
but we
just-
have to sign it everyone has to sign
Sign
it
it
every year.
Yes, please.
So it's really just something we can do at the end of the meeting or during the meeting?
Well, we have to file those, so we would
So we're-
appreciate.
You need them by the end of the night, right?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
absolutely.
They're in your packets, right, so.
So each, right, so we should be signing the code of ethics, the conflict of interest, and the whistleblower
And returning them.
agreements, and returning them to either Jen or Tim
Mhm.
before the end of the meeting. No, we already did those resolutions, we don't have to do them again. They were done at prior meetings, so they just continue forward. Okay, annual committee reports. We were given packets at our spots at the table
I've got it, that's okay.
with those reports.
If any questions.
You don't have to actually read them.
No?
So I think they're just being provided
Okay.
for us to read at our leisure. I guess we, any other matters for the annual meeting? I don't think so, we don't have to make a motion or anything. You think we should make a motion to accept these or anything? I don't think so. Okay, so, the annual meeting is hereby adjourned.
Well, do you need
Should make a motion.
I guess make a motion to.
Anybody have a motion to adjourn? Peter? Seconded by Carol.
Let's say that loud.
All those in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye. Okay, meeting is adjourned. So now are we waiting, I suppose, until
Till
9?
No,
We'll have to anyway.
Till 7.
well, unless, what Brian said to me on the phone was, I mean, yes, he should be here when we have, when we go into, but there's certain things we can, might be able to do without him, and he's okay about that.
Okay.
He's
And when is
gonna
Herb
let us
supposed to
know
be?
when he's done, what?
When is Herb supposed to be?
Brian's gonna text when he gets to the train station, so he's not there yet.
This is my own issue.
Don't we have to wait until 7 regardless?
Yeah.
We have to wait
Yes.
till 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, we're gonna take, yeah.
I'll be pretty good.
I'm a quick bail.
All right.
So we'll just take another vote that you vote, yeah, that's, yeah.
The time to sign policy, sign, that's enough.
Can I say my podcast?
This is Jen. Whatever it was that she was about documents. And I was like, oh, I know Gianna. Yeah, she's great. Tim from Upper Hudson.
No.
Upper Hudson.
So,
Yeah.
which is fine, because I don't need all the other.
Jenna?
Yeah.
Carol doesn't have a packet. Carol Velcro.
Yeah.
You want to give her, financials right behind her, just give her the financials on the table. So we've got them here, Tim.
Oh, we've got them here.
Oh, no, ethics thing and Nick thing and whistleblowing thing and other thing.
You do it
Not
here.
sign theirs, and all you can see them,
What are you doing here?
where's the sign?
Guys are my old neighbors.
I don't mean,
There's cheers.
Jen, just give me, oh.
I didn't write it. It's okay, it's a blower. I barely
Oh,
got
okay,
back
yeah.
from Newburgh. Just hold on. There's pictures. Yeah.
Was that the first meeting was on Facebook?
You wanna do it again?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you know how to get on Facebook.
Very nice. Very nice, nice surprise.
Annual meeting that started at 6:30 and just ended regular
this one I probably don't have to do, only because I don't do on anything, but I'll sign it.
Oh, I did the maintenance, everything.
Here's my stuff. All right, let's call the meeting to order. You need time still? Signing? Okay, I'll do that. I'll wait, you do have a form,
How long do you stay here for?
Until
Until Brian comes? So Chris, before we start.
Oh, I don't know, Brian told me that.
Can maybe we just like do like maybe new business and the minutes and things like that before Brian comes?
Let's make a motion to make fun of Brian when he gets here.
And we,
Yeah, we can talk about the
whatever we can talk about before running.
roof project.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Especially things that don't need a motion.
Do we need the does it matter about the treasurer's report though? I think we're fine.
No, it's for, if you wanted me here for executive session.
For the
Yeah,
executive session.
but we can still do your report, right?
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's just cover, I think, you know, everything but new business and, right?
Yeah.
We're going around. All right, everybody set now? Call the meeting to order. Let's start with the treasurer's report and check register.
Okay.
Do you need copies?
No, I just was gonna come up here so I can. Okay, so treasurer's report for the month of June/year ended June 2017. You'll notice that we ended the year significantly under budget by about $150,000, maybe 160. I say that even though the bottom of the income statement shows us significantly more under budget because there is a substantial piece that's gonna get rolled forward, that's the capital fund, the capital reserve funding and the current year capital accounts that are getting rolled forward to pay for various capital projects in next fiscal year. So we are, like I said, we're around $160,000 under budget for the year. There is an expense of about $12,000 for computer purchases that does not show up on these statements because the bills just came in. So they will get picked up before the audit happens, but pretend the computer purchases line was $12,000 higher, just so we didn't have to rerun everything. Other than that, realistically, I have some comments on rolling forward our the amount we're under budget for next year, but that's probably more for next year's finance committee / budgetary process than for tonight's meeting. So unless anybody has any questions on the month end or the year end or next year's stuff.
Just a quick question, did we ever get that check for $75,000?
Yeah.
Where will it show up?
It'll show up in the grants line and the income section.
And there's some progress on that that I'll report on.
Any other questions for Carol? We have a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I will make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
A second? Tina? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Do we have a motion regarding the check register for June 2017? Motion to approve the check register. Barbara made a motion to approve the check register for,
I see it. I did see it. Barbara made the motion?
yeah,
Okay, I'll second.
Carol seconded it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Okay, let's, any public input?
We're actually quiet. We're actually quiet tonight. I haven't been too much with her.
Let's move on to the committee reports. I think the only committee report we have tonight is regarding buildings and grounds. I think Tim's gonna take that.
Okay, and, you know, I can kind of do that off the top of my head. The subjects that are listed here are subjects that my notes are in the, you know, the director's report section, but,
Let's cover them if you want to.
sure, I covered that. Okay.
In that case, we'll move on to the staff and director's report. June 2017.
Okay, there you go. So, the director's report. So, for the heat pumps project, you know, we've made some real progress there. When I wrote the report a couple of weeks ago, we still lacked one estimate, and it was an estimate for the water service to come in from Mercy Care Lane into the building. We've got that estimate now. So I'm ready to start working on that paperwork in earnest. It's due September 1st. For the Paul Mays, well, let me mention the roof project. Really, it's going to sound terrible, but I really haven't anything new to say there since the last meeting. We're waiting for some more estimates on the doors on the west side of the building, and we don't have those estimates. And Also waiting for a particular contractor to get the parts he needs to install the escape windows, which are part of that project. If I can remind you that the roof project finished $86,000 ahead of budget or under budget according to state ed, and so we have to spend $86,000 on the building, and we're still working on getting contractors who want to do that work. So that's the roof project. In terms of the Paul Mays project, earlier this week, Steve Rowland, who's a partner with Paul in Butler, Rowland, and Mays, sent us the draft report on the building. He sent it to me, I shared it with Margaret and with Lou, and then I shared it with the steering committee for the Paul Mays project. Two board members are on that committee, Peter Hubbard and Chris Aldrich. The thinking on that report, which is generally a pretty good report about the building, is that the steering committee meets next on August 2nd, and they want to review the report together, talk about anything that needs to be added or deleted to it. They'll send that input back to Paul, and Paul will issue a final report on the condition of the building, which will then go to our board, and we can discuss whether we want to, for example, put it on the website and so forth. I would certainly like to share it with staff. So back to Paul Mays. On June 28th, he held the We Heard You meeting in the Helderberg room. This is where he was summarizing all the input that he'd gotten from staff groups, board and foundation groups, and public groups. And it was attended by about 25 people. Quite a few of them were members of either the board or the foundation or employees, and also former employees. So it was attended by 5 or 6 people from the general public. And they did an exercise there where they were given 5 stickers. They were given a sheet that listed about 25 or so priorities that, or desires, you might say, ideas that had been shared with him. And people were allowed to vote for up to 5. So in essence, prioritizing what was important to them. Obviously not a binding vote, but just another way of seeking input. I really liked that exercise and wanted to get our staff the opportunity to do that exercise. So Paul's going to be doing that here on Thursday of next week, June 27th, with the staff. Then he's going to have an additional meeting with the PPS staff and the ACS staff to talk a little bit more about some of their ideas for the building. So that's on July 27th. As you know, we held the audit kickoff meeting with Teal Becker and Shermonte. Margaret Garrett and Carol Cott have been doing really excellent work implementing Paylocity, which is generally working relatively well so far. The Summer Reading Club is just going great guns. We have about 400 young people registered as readers right now. The report in front of you says 290, but it's a lot higher than that, so that's good. One thing in my report that I have to correct, it says that I had a July 18th meeting with members of the Gilderland Garden Club, but I had to postpone that meeting, which is now going to take place on Monday, July 31st. I will be on vacation next week. I just want to make a plug to everyone in the room that I hope you can join us for our Valley Cats fundraiser on Friday, August 18th, and buy tickets at the circulation desk. My update on the $75,000 for the roof project that was given to us in 2015 by Assemblymember Fahey. After the last board meeting, I reached out to her office, and they reached out to DASNY and
You mean the lighting?
the lighting. I'm sorry, yeah, thank you. I said roof, didn't I? They reached out to DASNY, and DASNY said, "Oh yeah, you're good. You're good. We'll send you the GDA, which is the Grant Disbursement Agreement." So it means that the 4 levels of review at DASNY, that we passed all those. I don't want to complain too loudly, but we now have 30 pages of new paperwork that requires 3 different people to write 5 letters. I talked to Crystalline Champion about her letter that she needs to write, and Carol Pratt did some work for me today. So we're pretty much ready to put that together. Then when you have the 30 pages done, Crystalline Champion has to review them. That's part of the process. And then there are 2 more levels of review at DASNY. So we're getting closer, but it looks to me like we'll be happy if we get the money in the calendar year. And yet, we're a lot closer than we were when we last met. So, that's my update on the 75,000. Margaret Garrett has reminded me that I need to hold a board orientation session or sessions with Maureen and Caitlin. So after next week, I'll get in touch with you guys, see when you might be free, and includes a little tour, it's kind of a general introduction. I know Maureen, I believe, went to the core trustee training on July 12th. Oh, was it Caitlin? Oh, you both did? Great, thanks. Okay, in terms of land usage, there's a lot that's happened since the last board meeting about the two lots up here on 2220 and 2218. Western Avenue, you had directed me to look into combining the lots, and Peter Barber was very helpful, put me in touch with a gentleman named Steve Feeney. But we really only worked that, it's apparently a very simple project. But worked on it for about 10 minutes before realizing that there are two different owners for the 4 different lots that the library owns. One is the school district and one is the library. And you can't combine lots when there are different owners. So the options that we have include making all 4 parcels owned by the same party, whether it would be the school district or the library.
I believe we discussed that at the prior meeting, that we wanted to look into it, and then we were going to change ownership of those
Okay.
to,
What I've learned to
if necessary, to the school district.
Sure. What I've learned since that time, I haven't talked to the school district, but it's not recommended that we would do that at this time if we're contemplating any kind of a building project, because it would limit our ability to, if you're doing it to the school district, we would have the ability to bond, but if the library's gonna become the sole owner of the 4 parcels.
No, we'd be the school district.
Okay, okay. And then short term, Peter Barber mentioned that there's also the possibility of merging these 2 lots, because there's a basic fee involved with every parcel that you own. So if you merge these 2 lots, you'd save the basic fee each year, which is something like $800 per lot or something like that. So I can approach the school district if you guys want and
I
see
think
if
the goal is to not pay taxes on these, period. So have this done before November, is it, when the, has to be done by, I believe? Did we find out the date that we had to?
it is November.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So if we can transfer ownership to the school district, and then apparently the process of joining them doesn't take that long, is that what you?
once, yeah, if you're the owner of all 4, it's called a line lot adjustment, and it basically involves writing a letter if you're the school district, right?
So I think we should call for a motion to transfer ownership of the 2 parcels to the school district.
3 parcels.
I think it's 2 parcels, isn't it?
Well, there's the
Is
parcel
that
we're
we
on.
own that one as well?
Yeah.
3 parcels.
Yeah.
To the school district for the purpose of merging them.
Is
Together.
that one's not an issue in terms of taxes, is it?
Right, that one is not an issue in terms of
Saying we
taxes.
shouldn't merge that one?
Why should we merge it then? If it's, because
I
the
guess
only
so.
reason we're merging it is for
True.
tax
We
exempt
could just merge
purposes.
the 2 with this one.
Okay.
Sure.
Makes sense.
And is it by merging with the school district, do we avoid the taxes? But if they merge the districts with the library, then we have taxes?
I don't,
No, we'd avoid taxes either way, we just wouldn't be able to go to bond if we.
If we had the parcels, we couldn't go to bond?
Correct. The school district has to own the parcels
Property.
in order to bond with.
Oh, they have bonding power,
Mhm.
we don't, the library doesn't have bonding.
No.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's why it's owned by the school district now, because we bonded for this building.
You may wanna, I'm sorry, Chris, you
Go
may
ahead.
wanna talk to Teal Becker before you, because basically you're either gifting or they're purchasing those parcels from you, and there may be an issue from an accounting standpoint with, because the library paid for those parcels,
Mhm.
as opposed to this building, which the school district technically owned and then went on a perpetual lease, yada, yada. You may have some sort of, not that you shouldn't do it, but just know how it's going to affect things before you do it, rather than do it and then tell them you've done it and then it's too late.
Yeah, so we should talk to them about that before we actually go.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be in soon anyway.
Right, yeah.
So I'd just
And we
let
probably have to
that-
do the same thing, do a perpetual lease type of thing.
Yes,
Once we, gift it
yeah,
over,
once they
then
own
the
it.
school district would lease it back to us. Right. So I think we can talk to the school district about it at the same time we're talking to the, accountants.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I think also talk to our attorney or a different attorney, we need an attorney to draw up the paperwork, I assume. So I think we can just, I don't know whether we wanna talk to a real estate attorney or talk to our attorney that we're probably gonna pay to do it. Either way, it's not part of our retainer. Any thoughts on that? Yeah, they might do it. I would think it would be better to get a real estate attorney to do the documents. What were you thinking, Judy?
I'm just thinking, I wouldn't worry about whether or not someone can do it pro bono. We're asking them for professional services and they should get paid for a professional fee. And I would just like to find someone who can do it reasonably and competently and represent our best interests. But, I mean, it would take time to find someone who would be willing to do it for free. And I think our energy should be focused on finding the right person who can do it correctly and expediently.
I do know real estate attorneys that would do it quickly and cheaply. And, yeah, they're not. So.
My one comment,
Yeah.
my one comment, and maybe Barbara would know more than me, but if it's our desire to merge these three pieces of property, it's also got to be the school district's desire.
Right, that's why it's important for you to talk to them and accountants and, so I think we should have, do we want this done before the September meeting, or are we gonna? Yeah, I think we need to discuss it a little more before.
So have the information prior to
Have the
September,
information,
and you know what
right.
our options are.
Right. So, I'll talk to an attorney or two.
And so the survey's already been done. That's all, we have surveys on everything, so
Mhm.
that's not gonna be an issue.
Right, it's just drawing up the legal documents.
Right.
The key's gonna be that, what Darryl brought up, the key did buy those other pieces, this was so donated to us. So if there are any repercussions to either party,
I would think not, it's all the same taxpayers.
right, but only for,
That's through our, yes, through the accountants. Okay, so we can just think,
I have two more things for the directors before we're done with that
Yeah.
issue. One is that the new app did launch, so if you have a smartphone, please download the UHLS app. Generally wonderful, one of the neatest features isn't working on my phone, so we've got a ticket request in on that, but works on most people's phones. And we did get new wooden circular or round curved benches in the garden. The wood has not been treated yet because the weather has been so wet. So, and actually, just another rain garden update that I hadn't managed or hadn't thought about mentioning until I thought about rain. So we had a visit from the folks at the Albany County Soil and Water Conservation Board, and the chief person involved was not here that day, but it's really ironic. The reason it's flooding is because of the curb cut they did. And they did that curb cut because they didn't think the rain garden would get enough water. And then it way too much, so it's really a rain pond. So they're either going to try to plant it again, or they're going to dig it out, put a bunch of drainage material under it, and then flatten it, and we go back to where we were before. And it's another ironic note that that drainage rock that they want to put down there would make it drain if it was down there now. So, but they're sort of ready to wash their hands of it. It's just that the lady who's in charge is not here that day, so she's the one from their side who really needs to make that decision, and it just keeps raining too much to. So it's like a biblical. So that's the director's report.
We have a motion to accept the director's report.
Yes, I make a motion to accept the director's report.
I second that.
Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Herb, would you like to take over?
Congratulations.
Vice President? No. We elected him as Vice President. Prior meeting. You certainly don't have to, but would you like to take over? You probably should, because.
I can.
Brian will be here in about 15 minutes.
Oh, you
Then we should stall.
We could just go over the minutes.
We're up to, we've done everything up to E.
We've done everything up to F.
We haven't done the digitization project for the holiday closing.
Right, we haven't done it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
What do you need?
Okay, with the digitization project, are you going to report on that?
Yeah, I wanted to show a little bit of it. So Sean, I don't know what needs to happen to the screen go live again. So, Anne, I want to just ask you to correct me if I say anything wrong, because I spent a lot of time reviewing, not a lot of time, but I spent some time reviewing earlier today, and then I got so thoroughly confused during the end of the meeting that, so Ann Wempel-Person and Lisa Pitkin and John Lorang on our staff worked together on a project to digitize some materials that I want to show you just briefly. That was grant funded through CDLC, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I forgot the
RDBG or something, yeah, RBDB, but it's a statewide grant, I believe, to digitize local collections, and it's really some neat stuff. And I think that there are times when I think that all of us, whether we're staff or trustees or foundation members or whatever, there's so much here at the library that I think it's just worthwhile to take like 5 minutes and show you a little bit of this stuff, because if you're not looking for this stuff, you might not know that we have it. So if you go to our website, you would get to a spot that says, click here to see our local history collections. We've already gone there. And go down. There are sort of 6 major areas: the Gregg Collection, Arthur Gregg, the Guilderland Historical Society Collection, Guilderland School District Collection, a postcard collection, Guilderland Photographs Collection, and what I want to show you a little bit, the Library History Collection. This was 1/2 of what you guys did on this grant, right? And the other half was the postcards, or no? The photographs. The photographs. So the local history collection for the library. So I think there's the number 57, correct? 57 items, roughly, perhaps.
That sounds right, but
So,
it's starting to blur.
so this was a collection, or is a collection of material about the history of the library, and it's clippings and letters and reports and photographs, and you can click on any one of them and bring it up much larger and see the item. And anybody anywhere in the world can do this. Although on my computer in the office, the photo appears right here. I'm not quite sure why it isn't. Anyway. Okay, so there you go. And of course, you can make them larger. You can print them. You can download them, etc.
What's this section called?
This is the library history collection. Yep.
The one before that, what's the whole thing called?
Local history resources, I believe is what it says, or local history collections.
It's Gilderland Public.
I can go to the GPL site and show you how to get there if you
Yeah,
want.
that'd be good, so we
Okay.
can figure out how to find this.
So I was doing it in my office from the new website.
Did you do this all in-house, like you did it all in-house, taking the pictures of everything and?
Yeah, we
You did all
scanned
the-
everything, and then the important thing really is not just the image, but the metadata, which
Yeah,
is
this
information
before,
about
yeah.
the images.
And you had to all put that in?
Yeah,
just-
John,
type it in.
Lisa, and I, we did it.
Yeah.
How long did that take you? That's a lot of
Long time. It was good, actually, it was a great team effort, because John's IT background, Lisa's cataloging background, and myself knowing some history from growing up here, but also knowing what patrons are looking for in the way that they search. So it was a really great combined effort, and we've got other ideas for other collections that we have here that people don't know about.
So if you go to, this is the new website, so you go to the Research and Learn tab, then you go to Adults and Special Services, and then Local History. Research and Learn, Adults, Special Services, Local History, and Genealogy. And so this is the, like, kind of launch page for the Local History Collection. And the Gilderland High School yearbooks, I think this is really kind of cool when you look at it. You can see every page of that.
That's great.
So,
Yeah,
Your daughter's in it.
my daughter's on here. It's good to be able to put that.
interesting, it looks different here than it did on my computer, but
What browser are you using? Oh,
I don't know
Firefox.
over here. Is it Firefox? And
Yes.
I use Chrome. So I was going to show you the library history collection, but it doesn't appear to be. Oh, right here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
So, but as you'll see, old board meeting minutes and so forth are there in case you're interested in how it ran in the 50s. I can do a couple of the Gilderland photos. So,
Is there any notation of the years that
oh yeah.
they are? Because that other article, just had the date.
We were as thorough as we could be, given what was on the document.
So everything that's in blue, you typed in, or one of the three of you typed in?
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, and we had to really kind of analyze
Yeah.
the photos, and sometimes Lisa was better at it than the two of us, and we
Where did you get the photos from? Did you have it already?
we
in
have them
archives?
here, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And some of them, like that baby portrait, we have no, we don't know who that kid is. But we hope that it's possible that a patron
Finally see it.
sees it and says, that's my Uncle Joe.
Right.
Is that the school that was just
Yep.
bought by,
Yeah, that's the house, yeah, number 6.
Does the enterprise have a collection too, and then can the two be, put in a file together or something?
The enterprise,
Because they probably have a lot of pictures. of all
yeah, it would be a separate entity. We wouldn't necessarily do that for them. This is more libraries and historical societies. Yeah.
Covered Bridge? Covered Bridge? Interesting.
My feelings is like one of the most important things for our libraries is to keep the history of the
Look at
area.
that.
And so I
What
commend
year
you
was
for doing
that?
this. I think it's really important.
Keep
And,
going down. Let's see.
Thanks, Chris.
and
Oh,
it's great that you
Does it say when? Well, like when that was?
And the original, the images, the actual photos we have stored in proper containers and
That was actually
sleeves.
part of the project too, was to get the right kind of archival, sleeves and boxes and so forth to store the stuff. So,
that's the swimming hole.
yeah.
That's the Gilderland swimming hole.
Oh, wow.
Can people see the actual photo, or it's
Yes.
just for the computer?
They you want to,
Okay.
sure, yeah, we have them. Oh, one of our sub-collections, we did work, this is years ago, for the Historical Society. We don't have those images, but the ones that are listed that are by the Gilderland Public Library, we have, they're either above my desk or in the closet behind the screen.
Is there, any discussion about, or, you know, how are you soliciting interest if you are from the public about getting their input, like that baby photo? Like, people don't even know it's there.
Right.
So, or the date of that covered bridge, I was curious about, maybe.
What I would like to do, I think Lisa and John are interested in, need to talk to Tim and Margaret, is at some point perhaps posting some of these on Facebook or something like that to see, hey, you know,
Reaction, yeah.
who's this kid?
Yeah.
But,
Do you ever propose lesson plans for the local schools?
I don't. But, you know, that's.
But the opportunity for this, I mean, I personally think that would come more from the school, but I think that if they know it's here, they might.
It would be just great to, you know,
Yeah, should
maybe
we go
a
to the
teacher
year
could implement
1996
a way or give
I
some
could
kind
try.
of a lesson where the
I
kids
We can check
will
out Peter.
utilize, you know, the library in that
Right,
way, the
yeah.
historical section, and
I've
find out.
gotten a couple grad students who have been doing research, just one the other day who was looking for some sources that represent the community and the history of the community, and I said, well, here's this, and she was blown away at the school history, not just these yearbooks, but that Cobblestone Schoolhouse.
No, it's great, and even for the younger kids, I think,
Yeah.
because nowadays
think there's a
everything's so
separate
digitized that I think
collection of
maybe
yearbooks.
seeing it in person, like
Yeah.
the actual,
Right.
you know, photos or material would be just a good experience, you know, nice learning experience.
Yeah.
From these websites, are you able to access information from other libraries too, like the Albany Public Library?
Yeah, you can search for Albany Public on this new heritage site. You can,
And you can see their
You can see everything
historical stuff?
yeah, and they've done a lot. Jim Davies, he's the local history librarian, and he's done an awful lot. But up at where it says collections, towards the middle of the top there, yep. You click on that, and then to the side, you can, search, you know, there's also
That's a lot of information.
yeah. Some places don't have too much. I was at CDLC on Wednesday and, for a meeting regarding this, and the MySci, the Museum for Innovation and Science, right, something, they have thousands of images, on their site through here.
Just the Gilderland Public
Or is
Library?
it just, like you just went to?
I just went to the Bethlehem
Is
Library.
it just Upper Hudson or is it?
No, this is the whole state, right?
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, because you saw Belmore and Brentwood.
Was there a city library too, Ron?
I believe so.
Go to Cole Scouts. Look at my.
College of New Rochelle, College of St. Rose.
Wow.
It's really just fabulous stuff, and it's,
Very comprehensive.
Maria College, this again was discussed at our meeting the other day, Maria College, they were showcasing some of their items, and they've got audio clips from, I guess, some of the nuns in the 60s,
Wow.
had some glee club or something, and they made a record, and so Maria College, they digitized the record and then uploaded the digital files onto this site so you can hear
Fantastic.
the music. Yeah, there they are. Yeah.
That's great.
I don't know if there are speakers attached here.
That's okay.
How do we get to the public so they know about this?
That's the question, not just about this, but of so much about the library, you know? I mean, there's so much here
This is specifically on the website, it's like somehow, check out the website, you can research.
I guess we definitely should do a marquee of the 6 or so rotating marquees on the front of the library, of the website, and push it that way and bring it in and out. Push it for a few weeks and then do it again a couple months later. But
And the sign for those who don't go on the website.
Yeah, you could do something on Facebook about it. You can look up your town's history.
Enterprise too. So how does you, let them know, I bet you they do it. So they would do a They do a story about it, yeah.
well, I can certainly call it to their attention.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty remarkable. You can go to all these libraries around New York State, research different
Certainly something in town.
history.
So anyway, I just wanted to show it to you because I figured you didn't know we had it, and it's awesome. You know? So, Ann, is there anything else you'd like to say about it? Like any of your future ideas?
Yeah, we have a couple ideas. We still have lots and lots of photos we could work on. The Gilderland Historical Society puts out a monthly newsletter, and it's great. Mary Ellen Johnson does so much research with whatever topic she's writing about, and we have thoughts, Lisa, John, and I, of perhaps scanning those and then doing OCR, which would allow people to search for the words, the topics that are in these newsletters. The newsletters also feature photos, old photos of theirs. So we have an idea of possibly doing that. Westmere Fire Department just reached out to me the other day, and they said, hey, we've got 300 slides. I don't know what they want to do with their slides, though, so I don't know if they want to use it for publicity or they want to just let the public see these slides. We haven't talked too much about it yet. But there are so many ideas that we have, a lot of options, and we really do have a lot of photos in that closet there.
Is the Gilderland Historical Association an independent entity, or is it part of some other entity?
They're their own
not-for-profit.
not-for-profit, small, little
And
historical.
where do they get their funding from? How is,
They raise in donations and their dues, I think. I'm not really sure.
I like to make a plug every now and then and say it's $12 a year to join, and it's really worth supporting. I mean, just to get the newsletter, which is what, monthly, I think, or?
Yeah, she puts it out, Mary Ellen puts it out monthly. And incidentally, she'll be coming in November to do another talk for us about 300 years of Gilderland place names. So,
cool.
yeah, I just booked her.
Good.
You done with that?
I'm done with it unless
Great.
I wanted to give Ian the last words. Awesome stuff.
Okay, one other thing though, I spoke to Dan Senti today, and he said it felt funny not having to come to the meeting tonight, because he's been at every meeting for 5 years.
You're certainly welcome to come.
Public comment, you know?
Yeah.
You can also serve on committees, can't you, as a private citizen?
Ad hoc committees.
The next is the holiday closings calendar, which you all have.
I do have a comment. I always wonder about closing at 2 p.m. on Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve. Why we do that?
I think Margaret could answer it better than I, but I think the idea is that some people have to travel to get to their family functions.
So is the problem a problem with staffing, or is it just?
It can be, if we stay open till 5, because there are that many who are either hosting at their house and need some time, or they're getting on the road.
It's Thanksgiving and New Year's, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, just because, I mean, I was just thinking, the public.
We do use our own time, it's not,
Yeah.
we use our own
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, so we
The balance,
between 2
2.5.
and 5
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
vacation or personal.
Yes, sir.
And so-
That's what the contract says. So,
And anyone who's a part-time or who would work the evenings just doesn't get paid for that.
Well,
Or they could take vacation.
no, they
The
just don't.
contract
pay it.
states that they can make up the time. And, you know,
full-timers can.
the part-timers can make up the time that they're losing.
How is this different than last year's calendar? I wish I had it with me, but I don't. What? You know what it is?
Did we change anything from last year? Or did- I don't think we did.
The last year was the year that some of the major holidays were on the weekend.
Yep, less confusing.
So I mean, if it weren't a staffing issue, I would prefer that we stayed open till 5 on those days. But it's a staffing issue, I can understand.
Robert, is that, I can understand Thanksgiving, you know, if you want to get up, but what about New Year's Eve? Would that be a staffing issue also?
Mm-hmm.
Or would it?
Sure.
I honestly can't speak to that because it's always been closed on those eves since I've been here. So.
Right, traditionally it has been, and people come to, you know, realize that's, you know, patrons.
Yeah, and
I don't
we
think-
charge our time for that day as
Right.
well.
I can't say that I've gotten any complaints from the public about it in
No.
the last 3 or 4 years.
All right, make a motion to accept the 2018 holiday and closing calendar as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Okay, the minutes of the regular board meeting in your kits. There's a draft Gilliland trustees meeting June 15. Are there any corrections or additions to that?
Make a motion to accept the minutes of the regular board meeting June 2017.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Okay. Old business is the Curtis and Fossiek funds update.
Okay, so I've been in touch with Chris Lane Chanton about this. Without going into huge detail, she's still researching it. The two funds are, one, the Curtis to support Gilderland students studying library sciences, and the Fossiek is to purchase materials about the American Revolution for the library. Neither one of the funds is productive because the interest environment we live in is so low, and they were designed to pay the scholarship or to buy the materials with the interest. And so together, the funds were combined in one bank account. Together we have about $5,600 just sitting idle, which is not what the donors wanted. So what she's researching is whether we can spend the principal for the same purposes that the donors requested. And I talked to her about it today, and she needs a little more time. So now we have until September to our next board meeting. Presumably we'll get it done there. Yeah.
And there were never any documents found that established the endowments?
Well, we have documentation, but not real great documentation. Like we have some old board meeting minutes that talk about the establishment of the fund. We have a letter from the husband of Mrs. Curtis, Mr. Curtis, who, after she died, where he's clarifying some of the, some of her wishes. But, it's not like we have a full and complete file on everyone. I can tell you that I went to the bank and talked to them about it, and somebody, presumably the board, put $500 in this joint account, as recently as 2012. So it does seem to me that one of our options going forward is to try to find a way to make the funds robust enough that they do kick off
I
interest.
think that 500 was for the Gene Cole Concert Fund. I don't think it was a donation to,
But that's not in the same account,
yes,
is
it
it
is.
really?
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
But the accounts can be the money can be segregated to determine how much is in each account. I mean, I know it's one account.
Not easily, no, like they, the last transaction took place in 2012, it was 2009 when the, apparently 3 funds, I think it was 2, were merged into one account. And we do have some, like we know the amounts that started both accounts, but there's no way I've seen to know exactly which of those dollars was meant for which purpose.
And Curtis and Fosdick are for separate purposes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fosdick is the
separate.
Revolution, and Curtis is Library Science Scholarships, and then Jean Marie Cole is concerts.
Do we know how much each fund started with?
We do know how much each fund started with, at least Curtis and Fosdick. I don't know about Cole, but that's probably the
And do
easiest.
we know
to
whether
prove.
any payments were made out of the interest? We
Yeah,
know
we-
that, so
I
it
don't-
could be determined.
I have not seen a complete record of it.
Right, exactly, that's exactly, it could be determined that, it should be determined.
I don't know. Whoever combined it. The account was established in 2009, so in that year, somebody made a decision to merge these 3 funds. I don't know why, but
But
anyway,
it can be determined, if we know how much went in, if we know how much went out, and, I mean, the interest can be figured out, it can be determined how much should be in each, because they should be segregated in some way, they're for several purposes.
And certainly the principal, for the 2 things we know, that amount should be in there because we haven't spent that.
Hmm?
And the bank statement's been destroyed, that would indicate the interest.
they think that they have records from 2012 or 2009 forward on the bank, so, which is when the merger of the 3 accounts took place. So, I don't know that, it's not often that I need to find out about expenditures that took place between 12 and 09. So I don't know how easy it is for us, if we go to paper files, I presume, to find if we paid anything out between 2012 and 2009 or earlier.
But you do know,
Because we would always make a resolution to spend $25 or $150.
but we do know the principals. And that'd be the place to start, we know.
The documents I have seen at this point, it would not be possible using deduction to figure out what money belongs to each of the 3
I know I meant
purposes.
the initial,
I haven't seen all the initial documents. I
so
don't know
we
that
don't
we
know
have
what,
it.
we don't know what was initially put into these
Right.
things.
No.
Well, we can go back in the financials to before they were combined, and there'll be balances. from
Okay.
2008.
Okay,
I think that's where we started.
okay. Yep. So,
And,
So
you know,
do we wanna have a committee take this up?
Are they, I'm sorry, is this eventually gonna be used for the purposes it was established?
that would be my hope, but, and I think, as I see it, the right thing to do.
Right,
So,
exactly,
Any interest from anybody?
Just us on staff and, in this room have, basically, we're looking at this $5,600 sitting there and wondering what to do with it,
So you would have to find a way to make it known to people so they could generate interest.
Yeah,
and contribute, make contributions to
Right.
generate interest, exactly.
When is the last time that anyone ever, anyone applied for any of this money?
I don't know.
We gave scholarships when I was in the board, so
Did you?
couldn't have been that long ago.
So,
I don't know.
I'm not sure if everyone knows, but the Curtis, that's Toy Curtis, who was the first librarian for
I
the
saw it.
library.
Yeah,
It was-
picture, yep.
Yes, yeah, so.
I think it's worth doing some forensics and also promoting it on our website as ways for people to contribute, because we don't do enough of that, I don't think.
So,
And how do you wanna do it, how?
I think one of the committees should take it and do something with it till it's figured out and then bring it to the board if it's.
The only one who knew, we did. Do the research.
Oh, yeah, the research is.
Yeah.
terms of expenditures, you mean?
Well, finding out before they were put into one fund.
Before they were
all
merged, you're gonna
listed.
see them on the financial statement as separate liabilities in the notes.
And if that's only like 10 years ago,
2008, right, so,
yeah.
And
I
nothing
think we
much
could-
has happened since then, except
Right.
interest generated, that's it, it's pretty simple, it's not that
So I
complicated.
think we could figure it out pretty easily. But it makes sense to me to have a committee figure it out before bringing it to the board.
So it would be the finance committee, this is, it's finances.
I think that makes sense to me.
They don't really do much till January anyway, so.
Right, true. That makes sense to me, just do the finance committee.
I'll be happy to, scan the documents I have and email them out and to keep it posted on Chris and Champion.
Not tonight, I'll go through that, I'll spend a second, but, yes, so I gotta do that.
Alright. So let's, give it to the finance committee, figure that out.
So I just wanna talk about next. So I get to appoint the committees. If everyone could write down and email me their top 3 choices of committees, and by preference, and then by next meeting I'll pick them and appoint them. And if you're interested in being a chair or would like to be a chair, indicate that, but I'll probably go by more on a seniority basis for that, but,
Just keep in mind that a person cannot be a chair for more than 3 years in a row, one of our bylaws. It would be worth looking back just to make sure, or if you know you've been on for 3 years, maybe express that in email.
they can't be a chair or they can't be on the same
They
committee.
can't be a chair, they can be on a committee.
Oh, okay.
They just can't be the chair committee more than 3 years in a row.
Right, so yeah, please send me that at your earliest convenience.
So can I just ask procedurally, we have 2 months until our next board meeting, so is there any way to get the committees, like let's say we needed to have a finance or a policy committee meeting in the next 2 months. Once you've made your decisions, can they start working or does it require a vote?
What requires a board approval.
Okay, so.
However, an ad hoc committee can be appointed,
Right. We'd have to do
even
that.
if it's comprised of the same people that will be on the official committee.
So for example,
We'd
the
have to do
Curtis
that
and
tonight.
Fawcett issue, we could try to make some progress on in the
Sure.
next 2 months if we appointed an ad hoc committee. So,
Correct.
okay.
We'd have to do that tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems unlikely. Okay, so that was my only committee thing, so then I guess we're moving to.
And
Yes, yes,
we
please.
can do this afterwards if we want to keep
Yep.
things going, but I just want to make sure we discuss something about the foundation that we.
Oh, I was actually gonna bring that up at some point, but,
Okay, okay.
but yeah,
It
can
can be
we
at
talk
any
about the
point.
foundation? Actually, that was something that was on
You
my
want to do
mind as
that now?
well.
Do you want, it's up to you, Brian, whatever you want to do. I just
Let's
don't-
do
I
that,
don't want to
well,
forget that.
actually, you're right, Carol, you were probably looking to, get out of here at some point.
No, I always leave when you get here.
No, that's true, that's been very, that's a
How
good
long
point.
would time I should be taking to the minute then?
Mine is just about the provision that calls for this board to have some involvement.
Yes, that was
Is
kind of
the
my,
same thing?
yeah, that was my same kind of
Well, we
topic.
discussed it.
Yeah, that's, all right,
All right,
let's
so-
talk about it real quick.
So we kind of left it hanging last month, but it came up as I reviewed the bylaws with Rosemary that the okay, let me just take it back a step, so everyone's on the same page. We have the foundation. It is a separate independent entity, not-for-profit, and its mission is to benefit this library.
Raise funds.
What?
To
To raise funds and support the activities of this library. One of the provisions of the bylaws of the foundation says that the library is the sole member of the foundation. And in New York State, when you're a sole member of a not-for-profit or of any corporation, it entitles you certain rights and privileges, and the only right that we have as the sole member is that we are actually the entity that is supposed to vote on new members. Okay, so typically, you know how an organization would elect members. In reality, the foundation does not elect the members, we elect the members of the foundation. Presumably they recommend people to us, and the purpose for that is to ensure as much as possible that the people who are elected to the foundation have the library's best interests at heart and aren't some rogue
The only thing I would change, you said new members, we elect members, period.
left
They have
members, is
terms.
what I meant to say,
Yes.
every year, yeah.
3-year terms, it was?
2 or 3 year terms, I don't remember.
I think it's
I
3.
don't remember. Well, we have not exercised that for many, many years for no reason other than it just
Fell through the
escaped,
cracks.
it fell through the cracks, escaped our awareness, and now we are on notice and aware that we have a responsibility to elect members. The foundation is now reviewing their bylaws for a whole set of other reasons, just to make sure that things run smoothly. And I think we're in a position where we really need to work together with them on ensuring that this provision that gives us the right to elect members is implemented, and not forced on anyone. So my question, I don't know if it's the same question you have, is how do we actually
Yeah, and
Make
it was that, and I guess I want to know if there was any movement kind of forward on that, and thirdly,
I don't know.
for some reason I thought someone said that the president, who's, I guess now me, has to appoint these people, so that's why really I was.
The president casts the
You cast the vote on
Okay.
behalf of this board.
Oh, okay, so that's why I kind of really wanted to know.
The president casts the vote. I mean, it has to be just one person who casts the vote, and it would be the president.
I don't want to put anything on Brian, but I think Brian should work with the current president of the foundation and come up with a plan to present to our board to vote on who the current officers are and what their terms are, so that they're spaced out, so that they all go off and on every 3 years. You know, different people terms end this year.
I do think they're working on that. I don't know with just regard to officers. I think they're working in that regard to general members too.
That's what we need, is for just general members, because we don't do the officers. They
Right,
do-
I
they do
think
the
they're officers though,
They
but
do,
okay.
yeah. So if we could have that to present at the September meeting, and we could
I can
vote on
discuss
that.
that with Rosemary. Is
You
there
cast your
anything
vote.
as I go talk to her, anything you guys want to, like, for example, you want to kind of stagger it, so I'm not appointing all 20 of them for 3-year terms. Is there
Right.
anything else
And
you
they
guys
want
want
to
me to kind
stagger
of bring in?
too. They're on the same page about that. Well,
Just the other
both
thing to
committees.
note is, the elections take place in January, it
Correct.
appears. So, the next time we do this should happen, so some people's terms may be ending January.
Okay.
And we then vote on them.
Any other input someone wants to relay, so I could?
So the term should be like till the end of December, probably.
The only comment I have, and I haven't read the foundation's bylaws, but, you know, I've been involved with the foundation since I think 2011 or so, and maybe 2010. And it seems to me that it's, during that time period, been too difficult to become a member of the foundation. It seems to me that if 10 more people wanted to contribute,
Can I speak to that?
sure.
You don't have to be a member to come to the meetings
Oh,
and to
okay.
contribute.
Okay.
They can have 100 people come to the meetings, and, 15 people be members.
And they do have a limited number of members in their bylaws,
Yeah,
right?
it's a huge number. They have up to like 25 or 20 something. It's a huge number.
So there is no limitation to being active, and
And I don't think you have to be a board member to be on a committee either. I don't think it's like our bylaws that prohibit committee membership, that limit committee membership to trustees.
Okay, my question to the board is, why would you want to be a member if you weren't, why would you want to be involved if you weren't going to be a member, and it wasn't because of like a limit of people?
Because you might not want to make a commitment to have to go to meetings every month.
or a
Or
3-year
you
term,
might- Or you might want not, right, you might not want to commit to 3 years. Or you might just want to be a member of a committee for event planning, for a particular event or something like
Right.
that. I mean,
If someone wants to be a member, we're probably inclined, unless we're term limited, to.
I think if there's someone who is going to do the work, then we'd be inclined to let them work. But if they're inclined to just sit there and be wallflowers, we'd be
Yeah.
inclined not to vote.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Understood. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
her right to rebuild it.
Right.
So I will work with Rosemary and present something to you guys, next meeting.
And Brian, if you don't mind, I'm gonna mention that to her because I'm in conversation with her about the, okay.
Alright, so then
And I think they meet in August, they don't meet in July.
they meet so much.
I know, maybe that's why someone doesn't wanna be.
Honestly, when I was on it, I couldn't do any other committees because they meet so often. I mean, it's great. If you want to do it, it's the most rewarding thing I did. I was part of, but it is a lot of work. But it is very rewarding being on the foundation, being the liaison.
They were all sure.
Yeah, all right. That's probably the only time I've ever heard them be on.
Otherwise, they'd be meeting right now.
Okay, I'd just like to mention that the online portal for the New York State Public Library Construction Grant application for the 2017 to 20 grant period is now open for business, and the Upper Hudson Library System is encouraging applicants to this. I don't know if you've already had.
I've been on the website. I just got the last estimate that I need, so now I have all the supporting documents. I mean, I've essentially been working on it for a year and a half, but so it'll be done by September 1st. It's the heat pumps project that we're talking about.
Okay, I make a motion to exit the executive session to discuss the management letters. What else has to be discussed?
We have to approve a couple of personnel actions, and I wanted to bring up cyber insurance and a patron accident that happened in the library yesterday.
Did you get all that? Did we have a second?
I get to say that. We have a second. Peter. Call the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Okay, unanimous. Executive session.
We've had 3 good